This is Ask John and April, where we take your questions and we answer them. And if you have not subscribed yet, you should think about doing that now.
Yeah, and if you like this video,
give it a thumbs up. Did you use your bad thumb for that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I can now, though.
By the way, let me just say that we are a relationship channel, so we talk about relationship stuff. And the questions that we get for Ask John and April are usually relationship related. Today's question is...
Can couples actually be united if they have two different political views?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that came from Claudia.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your feeling on that? Do you think it's possible? Now let's just start by saying, let's be transparent.
Okay.
You and I don't have very different political leanings, and maybe we're not necessarily all that political in the first place.
Okay, let me stop you for a second, because do you remember that we did have two political differences when we first got together?
No, I don't remember what you're talking about.
I moved you a little closer to my end, but that's because you weren't really strong in your political
That's definitely true. And that has something to do with our answer, well, at least my answer.
Yes, okay.
But let's what's your answer? Do you think it's possible for a couple to be able to succeed in their relationship if they have vastly different political views?
I think it's going to be difficult.
Okay.
During certain times of the year.
Okay. Like this year when elections are happening.
Right now, this is a very difficult time.
Good point.
To have two different political views as a couple.
But and not just the election, probably right now also because of the way that the coronavirus situation.
Saying. Because all that's political.
Exactly.
So this whole thing,
it's all been politicized.
You have two different. I mean, that's going to be very difficult because you have one who's saying, "Hey, this is not as deep as everybody's saying it is," or you might have this other group that's saying, "This is very deep. Why are you, not doing what you should be doing? Why are you not following the CDC or the whatever?"
Yeah.
And so you might have fights or deep discussions.
That's true.
About whether or not you should be going out to the store.
Right.
Or,
you
know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it could get that deep, especially if you have kids.
So would it be your contention then that if nothing overly political is happening in the world, that a couple might be okay?
I think it's easier if nothing political is happening. It's quiet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But
every 4 years, they probably have a blow up.
Oh yeah, there definitely will be.
Okay.
And I mean, if you have a partner who's actually into politics, where they're actually in it, they are speaking out about things, and they are, and you're not, agreeing with them.
Yes.
I think that would be more difficult.
Right.
You actually have someone that's out there being more of a politician.
Yes.
Or a community person who's fighting for rights or whatever it is.
Yes.
And you
the
don't
other person
agree.
disagrees, then that's
that could be an issue.
I think I see what you're saying, and I think I agree with that. I would say that if one person is not that political and the other one's overly political, they're probably okay.
Right.
But I think if two people are both political, they're into politics, and they have varying or differing views, maybe opposite, then I think it's probably going to be problematic a lot. But I would say this, that if that's the case, if you have some, I don't know, maybe guidelines, some things that you agree upon, maybe it would make it easier.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're ever going to get away from having fights or spats or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that you could decide, you know what, in this relationship, I really love you. I don't want us to end up breaking up or whatever over something like, two political differences.
Right.
But I would say you decide, these are the things we're going to talk about. These are the things we're not going to talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to have a conversation during dinner time about this because we know where it leads. Or you might go into it and say, I really want to talk to you about this. Can we have a safe space to discuss this issue? Like, beforehand, so that you can kind of create the environment for that type of conversation without it getting,
out of hand. So I agree with that, and I think you might be onto something. But I do want to challenge one little piece, and that is, if both of us are political and we're both sort of overtly so, like we really, really are into politics, then that means for us to avoid the conversation all the time may mean I feel like I have to not be who I am. And if we're both feeling that way, that might be a problem. So maybe another tip could be that you could decide that there's a particular day of the week and time where you're gonna allow yourselves as a couple, I'm dead serious, to just have a knockdown drag out about whatever political issue you want. You know what I'm saying? Every Thursday at 8.
No.
I'm telling you. Why not? It doesn't have to be bad. It could be where we're just gonna talk.
But you said knockdown drag out.
Okay, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, what I mean then is a passionate discussion about these political
Okay.
things where I get to say what I want to say, you get to say what you want to say.
Yes.
Knowing that neither one of us is going to move, but we just got to voice it. You know
Yes,
what
but
I'm
I
saying?
basically said the same thing with the
Okay.
safe space. Like, I
Okay.
wasn't saying avoid it, like never
Okay.
talk about
Alright,
it. But what I
okay.
was saying was decide these are things we're not going to talk about in certain situations. Like I said, dinner
Like a
table.
dinner time.
You shouldn't
Or
be talking.
when company's
or when
over.
company
So,
comes
yes,
over,
okay,
if
yes.
this conversation comes up, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Just let them talk. You know. You don't want the people, you don't want your visitors to see you
True.
guys
You're right.
arguing
You're
over.
right.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
good point.
But I think if you decide, so we're saying the same thing.
I think so.
But the difference is I'm saying let it be where you know beforehand this is a safe space
Yes.
where I can share my passion
Yes.
about my political
Yes.
view,
Yes.
and I know that I'm not going to be criticized for it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so different question. I do see what
Okay.
you're saying.
All right.
I see what you're saying, and I agree.
Okay.
And I think that's what you would need. In my opinion, if we're both that passionate about it,
Yeah.
we can't decide we're not going to talk about it at all because I think that would deny who we
It
are.
would. And I mean, you're in a
you have to have a
relationship.
way of
You should
doing
be
it.
able to talk
Yes.
about all the things that you need to.
So here's the real question. This is
Okay.
what people want to know, I think.
Okay.
Because what I hear behind that question is, if I let's say I'm a Republican and I
Yeah.
marry a Democrat,
Yeah.
are we unequally yoked? That's really what people are asking.
Yeah.
Are we unequally yoked if we do not agree on everything politically? And what do you think about that?
I would say the only way you are is if your politics is your religion.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
If your politics shapes who you are,
Okay.
you know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Then
Yes.
there's going to be some serious
You're right.
issues in your relationship.
You're
But
right.
if it is just a part of you,
Yes.
you know, then
Yes.
you can. I think you can.
So you're
and I don't
saying-
think it is unequally.
So
yoked.
you're saying then for those who feel that the Bible is the thing that shapes them or whatever their church teaches or whatever, if
Yeah.
that's the ultimate thing that shapes them and politics may be second or third on the list, even though they're very passionate about it, they can still be equally yoked,
Yes.
even though they may have differing political views, as long as they agree on the religious stuff.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
the core.
Yes.
You know, I feel like
Yes.
those core things, if you agree on those things, then you're not,
Right.
you know, unequal.
There may be some who would say, I don't know, there may be some who would say that if you agree on the Bible stuff, you would probably agree on the political stuff.
Not necessarily.
I agree.
because
I'm
we
with you.
didn't
You're right.
Right,
You're
right
right.
away.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So,
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't. But again, like I said, if you are intertwining both
Yeah.
and you have them, you know, together. I mean, because I feel like all the political parties have their negative and positive.
That's true. No
I mean,
political party is perfect.
And sometimes
Right.
when you're choosing who to vote for is the best of two evils.
That's
I
true.
mean, you know
You're
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's a good point.
So, I mean, you know, there are some things in there as far as some people's religion that they might not believe in,
Yes.
but they take pieces of those political parties and say, okay, I agree mostly with the overall
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
of this particular party. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So I'm saying if you are not making politics your religion,
Right. Then it's possible to actually be equally
yes,
yoked.
I think so.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So don't worry. You may be okay.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, we probably should tell people what we are. Or maybe we shouldn't. There's no way we can tell you that because if we do, some of you will stop watching. Anyway, we hope this helps you guys today. And for those of you that are teetering on the brink, you're not sure if you should get married, you might be okay if politics is not your number one thing.
Exactly. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just don't talk about it at Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Anyway, see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.